Okay, so here we're going to take a look at the ALARMS submenu in configuration. So we're in the configuration menu now. First thing to do is just use the arrow button here, and we can scroll around until we find the menu we want. So here we want alarms. We can enter into that. Okay, so the first thing it does is it lets you select which LED you've got. So we can actually use the buttons to scroll around A, B, C or D. Okay, so first thing is to set which or select which LED it is you'd like to configure. So this time we're going to go for LED A, so we enter into that. Okay, so this actually tag, now we're going to choose what we tag to that LED. So we can say whether we want temperature 1, temperature 2, pressure, or we can have that LED disabled. Okay, so this time we want it temperature 1 in this example. We can go next here. Okay, here we select how we want this LED to operate. So we can say whether it comes on outside certain limits. So this is useful for when you're warming your engine up. You can basically say you keep the LED on, say, under 50 degrees, and then you actually also want it to trigger when it's above a certain temperature, so let's say 105 degrees. This way you're actually using one LED to control both of those settings. Okay, the other option here is we can say it's on over an actual limit, so we can just set one limit, and if it goes over that, this LED will trigger. Or we can do the same if it's same thing again if it's under a certain limit. And again we're back to if it's on outside limits, so we'll keep with the outside limits. Next one is the first value, so this is the lower value. So as I say, if we wanted that to say come on up 40 degrees, we can actually just use the buttons, scroll around to 40. Next thing is the upper limit, so we can set that to, let's say, 110. And then we're back to the beginning again. So next thing to do is we can then say next, just check those settings. Once we're happy with that, we can choose our next LED. Okay, so we're actually back to temperature 1, that's fine, let's exit from there. Okay, now we're into the next setup, so we can do the same again with it. LED B, we can enter into that. Okay, at the moment that's disabled. We can actually set that to be temperature 2 this time. Again, we enter into that. We can say that's only comes on if we go over a certain range. And what do we want that range to be? Well, if we said oil temperature, for example, we could say, okay, we want that to come on if it gets over, say, 70 degrees. Okay, into next. Okay, and there we are. We can just scroll around, check those settings again. It's on over that, value 70 on temperature 2. Exit that one. We can then go into selecting which one we want next. So again, we'll go on to LED C. We can enter into that one, and this time we're setting that for pressure. So we're happy with that selection. Go on to next. We want this one on, let's go under. Okay, so we want this under, and let's say yes, under 4 psi. Next, that's pressure is on under, and it's 4. Okay, exit that one. Next last selection is LED D. Let's go enter. We want that disabled, temperature 1, temperature 2. We'll go for pressure again, into next, and this time we'll say yes, we want it on, okay, when it's over a certain level. So again, let's put if that's over 10 psi. Next, just check that is on over 10, exit that. Once we're happy with everything, we can exit again, exit again. Do we want to save those settings? Yes. And that's those settings now done for alarms.